Overcrowding, fare price hikes, industrial action, cancellations, unpredictable journey times. Just some of the problems the average daily commuter faces with public transport. But what if you could buy your own personal commuting pod for the same price as an annual rail card? Well, that's what we're hoping to show Phil today, as we're presenting 3 very different price-sensitive models that will help him tackle his daily commute through southwest London.
I really want to get out of the public transport system because it just is such a nightmare at times. You have all sorts of events and incidents that just create delays, just takes forever. You can't really reliably get to where you want to go in a certain time frame. If you're going into town, you can be shoulder to shoulder. It's just absolutely rammed. So yeah, it'll be nice to have something that is just my bit of space. Cheap to run, just can rely on it being able to get where I need to go in a reasonable time frame.
If compressing that commute is Phil's key priority, then nothing is quicker around town than a bike, and the Piaggio MP3 Urban is an affordable and unintimidating entry point into motorcycling. Having 2 wheels at the front instead of 1 makes this bike a trike, so under UK law, it means you can actually ride this thing with a regular car licence. With prices starting from £6,000 and 60 miles per gallon well within reach, this is easily our most affordable and cost-effective offering of the trio.
Whoa, quite zippy.
That's a pretty cool little feature. I can just sit here at a red light
With the stability holding me upright.
The legs feel reasonably well sheltered from the wind too. It's got reasonably good fairing around it.
Piaggio reminds me why I got into motorcycling in the first place, like a long time ago now. But having 2 wheels to get in and out of the traffic, it makes such a difference to being able to get from point A to point B without having to be stuck in congestion. Having the 2 wheels on the front is I can see the advantage of it. It gives you an extra element of stability, particularly in the wet. You're less likely, you have a bit more confidence, you're not likely to sort of lose it when it's, if you're going around a corner or a greasy corner. The seat height is pretty good. You've got good visibility when you're getting along. You can see around, see over the cars in front of you. The storage under the seat's pretty good too. You've got room for a helmet. You can, like if I'm bringing work home, I can put my laptop in under the seat to get home as well. Don't have to worry about carrying a backpack. All in all, pretty good fun and definitely easier to get around. And with the distance that I'd have to travel, I'd probably have to fill it up once a week, maybe even 2 weeks, and that makes it pretty good running cost. So yeah, all in all, pretty good.
The Renault Twizy may look like a golf buggy that's taken a wrong turn, but it is in fact a road-legal, 2-seater, fully electric vehicle with a claimed range of 62 miles and can be recharged in just 3.5 hours using any 230-volt plug. Prices start from £7,000, but that doesn't include doors or even a battery pack. Because the application of batteries in cars is such a new science, Renault quite wisely has decided to lease the batteries, similar to a mobile phone contract, so owners can upgrade as and when the battery technology improves.
This looks interesting. I am kind of curious to drive it, but my first impression is that I think it would have a negative impact on my reputation, such as it is. I think it looks like an oversized go-kart, but without the fun factor built into it. $7,000, it actually does look like I can't see the 7K in it. It just does sound overpriced. I mean, that's not the only factor in what I'm looking for, of course, but it is still a significant wad of cash. I could get a big bike for $7,000. It is high priced. The fact that this is all electric does interest me. I mean, that is supposed to be a cost-cutting measure. It's good for the environment. Initial feeling doesn't feel very safe though. So I don't think I know anyone who would go in that rear seat. It's quite small, extremely claustrophobic. It's like, if anyone hits us from behind, I'm screwed. Suddenly I feel like a goldfish. But it's Yeah, interesting. Okay, this is clearly built for a European market because the windscreen wipers go on the wrong angle. That is not reassuring. Okay, in some respects, the rain is a good thing right now because that's probably going to ensure that people won't see me. Oh, that's a bit scary. Put the foot on the gas, it didn't go anywhere and started rolling back. That's not reassuring either. You've got to put your foot down a long way before it starts moving. It's like a golf cart, that's what I'm feeling. Showed some people laughing. You probably could safely say that this is a head turner, but not in a good way.
The Seat Mii is the most conventional of our three offerings because it is a car, and a good value one at that. A base 1 litre 3-door with wind-up windows, no central lock-in and 59 brake horsepower will set you back £8,000. And realistically, you're likely to get around 50 miles per gallon. However, the engine emits 105 grams per kilometre of CO2, so it isn't congestion charge exempt, and although Phil may be comfortable in here, he isn't going to be able to filter through the traffic effectively.
First impressions of the Seat Mii. It's a little car, so it's, for all intents and purposes to me, in terms of commuting or otherwise, it's just another car, but it probably isn't going to get me through traffic. It looks reasonably roomy inside, so I guess it will be comfortable from that perspective. Doesn't really stand out in terms of ownership. One of those things, if it's in your driveway, it's nondescript. So it wouldn't bother me that it's on the driveway, but I wouldn't expect any of my friends to say, wow, what do you got there, sort of thing. In terms of mod cons, there's no central locking there. It's just standard wind-up windows. It feels kind of old school in that sense. There are definitely pros and cons to each type of vehicle, and having a car in this weather is definitely a bonus over a scooter. It's a car, obviously, and it's a small car, so it makes it a little bit practical because you can use it for transporting people or luggage or whatever you might have with you. Congestion in traffic is not one of my favourite things. I mean, it makes it a little better than being stuck on a train. But I don't know if it would still be reason enough to have a car as a commuting tool. There are three very good options. I think the Seat's probably the least of my choices, just because it is effectively another car. I have a car already, so there wouldn't really be much benefit to having another car. It doesn't really get me through traffic either, which is one of the things that I'm looking for in a commuting option. The Twizy, whilst it's smaller than the car, it's still bigger than the scooter, can't get through the traffic. It's not something that I'd be particularly happy to, when I'm with neighbours to see. I'm not sure if that would really inspire me so much. The leasing scheme of the Twizy is quite a concern, actually. I mean, it's effectively adding to the running costs. But the whole point of an electric vehicle is to reduce running costs, cut out carbon emissions and that sort of stuff. Having to outlay 50 quid a month for a battery on an ongoing basis, this just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that makes it more expensive to run than the Piaggio, really. It kind of makes the Piaggio an easy option. It's economical, it's pretty cheap sort of initial outlay as well. It doesn't need a lot of space to keep it at home, gets through the traffic really well. It kind of makes it an easy choice. I think the Piaggio wins out of these three.